So, welcome to the return of the Divine Feminine in the Golden Age. I want to thank all the Divine Feminines that are on this call right now, but especially the presenters, those goddesses who I have met in multiple lifetimes. Right? We've had so many different synchronicities, and our souls, right? Our souls come to this planet, land in these bodies and into these portals that the Divine Feminine allows us to receive. That's how we get here. So I'm so appreciative for the ladies that are going to be here, and it's really about y'all. I'm just a voice that's putting this together. So I want to thank you. I also want to thank, the women that are on the call right now. Lineage Brand is a place where you can go to explore a wide varieties of different modalities to help support your spiritual journey. And you can do it all in one place. Whether your journey is new, old, you're just looking for something, you can come to one place, and that's Lineage Brand, whether you're looking for crystals or tarot or Reiki. And we're looking to help, expand and grow. So there's going to be more business coming online in the future. First and foremost, we lead with love. We lead with caring. We lead with compassion. I think somebody's on, let me see if I can mute that for everybody. I'm not sure. But yeah, we lead with love and caring and compassion and passion and heart. Our heart. It's our mission to help humanity evolve as we move forward into this age of Aquarius, which we've been in for about 500 years. And to help us step fully into the golden age, I truly believe our path needs to be done by raising the matriarchy, and restoring that sacred feminine energy to its rightful place so we can find balance between the men and the women on this planet, because there is no balance. You go to all these different places and you can tell it's ran by men. We can tell that the women are pushed down a little bit further in society. But the goddesses are how we get here. How did this happen? How did this happen? But this event is about reclaiming that ancient wisdom. It's about your past. It's about your past. You find your past, you find your future. The divine knowledge that's been buried through the Piscean age is here. It's been suppressed by a patriarchal system that's been designed to, keep you down, to make sure you didn't know that you're divine, that you're beautiful, that you're a goddess. That's what they've been doing, and that's how they've won. But it's over, and I'm very happy to be here with each and every one of y'all right now in this present moment. When I go back, I'm going to be happy about this being in the past, and I'm looking forward to, getting to know more of you in the future. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start with some poetry from the goddess Anahata.
Yay. Blessings, peace, and blessings to everyone. All of these beautiful, amazing, immaculate faces. I'm blessed, grateful, and honored to be here. As so beautifully introduced, I am the goddess Anahata, and I am a poet and musician. I turn poetry into music. I make words into love. And since everyone can use love to transcend their hearts into space-time, I lead with my favorite feminine piece, which is a song right now available on all streaming platforms. And I'll be reading it out of my book today, which is where it originates. Lunar Eclipse by the goddess Anahata is a poetry collection. So this first piece is called Feminine Rhapsody. Feminine, sweet cinnamon, something marvelous to relish in. Redolent remnants of bergamot, jasmine, patchouli, add a splash of vanilla and get the senses unruly. Each step coalesced to one of Earth's heartbeats. Subdued to divinity, you admire her endlessly, a melody of life in her trail. An altruistic smile to plant peace in the peaks of your thoughts, to be replayed every passing moment. Look at her eyes, locked and loaded with kindness and focus. Black pearls, no sparrows, secret treasures they're holding. Perplexed by concepts of the angel light, making her angel-like crystallized, transparent how spirit guides move her. And She looks like how cocoa butter feels. The velvet touch needed more than much. You have to have her. A garden to nourish your legacy lives in her spirit readily. And when the sun has parched you, return hitherto. The deep well of water awaits. Emet Neset Waret, her oasis. Ashe.
Hey, that girl bad. Ashe.
Very nice, very
Hey.
nice.
What do we do?
Ashe.
Right? Yes. Yeah, so Anahata I had met on Threads, and we just started having these weird synchronicities, you know, and it was all about being right here in this moment with her. You know, it was kind of crazy. I was like, that's weird, you know what I'm saying? That's weird. But that culmination of synchronicities led to this moment. If y'all could go to YouTube, go to the Goddess Anahata and subscribe. You know?
That's love. That's love.
Most definitely.
All right, now to the goddess Katie. You know, a lot of people know this story about me and Katie. My sister's birthday and Katie's birthday are the same. My birthday and one of Katie's brother's birthdays are the same. Our moms and dad's birthdays have the same. They have the same birthday. We got the same curtains. We got the same countertops, and we had the same car. I've met her through multiple lifetimes. A beautiful soul. And Katie, would you like to get started? And we're going to talk about the premiere of divine feminine energy, the goddess Hathor. You know, there's plenty of goddesses throughout the pantheon, throughout time, space, but we decided to introduce this particular goddess to you guys because it's that feminine power, that feminine energy.
Yes. Yes. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time out on a beautiful Saturday to come and listen to us. Well, for me, and well, I'm sure all of us, but you know, to share our passions with you. Can you read that? I can't. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So one, we've had imbalance of societal structures, right? There's been an emphasis on dominance, the hierarchy, control, right?
Yeah.
From a divine feminine energy standpoint, it emphasizes intuition, cooperation, emotional intelligence, receptivity, nurturing, right? We just don't nurture like we used to nurture. We don't love like we used to love. And it's that creative expression that's been suppressed. So this suppression has led to systems of prize logic over empathy, right? It's about the money, you know, the money over empathy, you know, productivity over presence, work 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, you know, and the conquest over connection. That's the patriarchal institution that we're in. Capitalism, militarism. You know, we got our kids going to the military and fighting these wars, and these wars aren't helping and hurting anybody besides women and children, right? I mean, like, it's crazy. We're disconnected from nature. That's a huge part, you know, and the feminine is associated with the earth, with grounding, with the plants, the trees, the fruits, the vegetables. We've devalued the valuation of emotional and spiritual intelligence, right? Our mental health crisis is at an all-time high, you know, and the spirituality is empty. You know, societies that are silent on emotional depth often stigmatize and you know, they go against vulnerability and intuitive knowledge. And this fosters isolation, burnout, you know, and again, that mental health epidemic that we have. We didn't used to be like this. It used to not be like this. You know, as she goes through the goddess Hathor in these times in Egypt, you know, in these times in other places around the world, 2,000, 3,000 years ago, we did not deal with this because we had an emphasis on the feminine energy.
Yes.
Gender inequality and the suppression of women's voices, but that's ending. That's ending, right? Your voices are being heard, and we're just pushing it further into time. You know, we got war over harmony, a world more reactive and aggressive than receptive and healing. where it's all
Mhm.
masculine dominated decision
Yep.
making, and the suppression of, sacred sexuality, the shame around your bodies,
Yep.
pleasure, your creative life force.
Mhm.
You shouldn't have to be embarrassed as a young girl when you're starting these beautiful times, but people make it like that to make it hard. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous, you know?
Yeah.
Y'all should be loved, worshiped, cared for, honored at all times.
Yes.
So we go into the goddess Hathor. It used to not be like this. There we go.
Yes. And so we're going to go ahead and talk about her temple. Okay, go back. Yeah. Go ahead. Go back, back. Right here. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and talk about her temple, her sacred crystals, the potteries that she used. And of course, because I'm an archaeologist, I had to collect some of that
Grab
stuff.
something I was going to eat. I'll be right back.
Okay. And we're going to talk about her legacy of divine feminine energy. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so Hathor was a central figure in the Egyptian religion, and she was worshipped as the goddess of love, beauty, music, dance, fertility, motherhood, and joy. Known as the embodiment of the divine feminine energy, she represented nurturing, sensuality, creativity, and healing. She was commonly depicted. I don't know if you guys can see that. This is a statue that I have of her in my crystal store. And she was depicted as a woman with cow horns and a sun disk as the cow. Okay, next slide, please. I don't know why I got this thing. Is that sign for? Okay. So here is a picture of myself in front of her temple. Now, her temple was built many centuries ago, but during the Greek and Roman era, they rebuilt it into the states that it is now. And it's the best preserved temple. And as you can see around me, they have these pillars with her face all carved in it, and they have just these beautiful carvings all in the walls and in the ceilings. And let's see, we could go on to right here, number 5 here. I'm so happy that I was able to take this picture. I was very surprised that it came out this well, but this is part of the ceiling that is in the temple. And what it represents are all of the her goddesses that were usually priests, priestess, or musicians or healers. We could go to the next one. And this was the famous I don't know why I couldn't say that, Dendera zodiac. And this is not the actual that's in the ceiling. It was stolen by someone, and now it's in a French museum. But
Yeah, can
I
I
bought.
explain something on this real quick?
You can, please.
So the Egyptians or the Kemites or the Atlanteans, because this Egypt's just a colony of Atlantis, you know. So right here in the middle, there's this hippopotamus goddess, because they would use representations of animals to help you to create a story. So the hippopotamus has a huge belly, right? And she has this sword here, like a knife. And what this represents is the opening of the universe through the divine feminine energy, this hippopotamus, this goddess that has this big belly. So she opens her belly, and then there's this first star. It's the star Sirius. It's one of the brightest stars in the galaxy, right? They talk about the star Sirius being the beginning star that expanded out, and we're literally spinning around the star Sirius right now. Every zodiac, so if you're a Cancer, if you're a Aries or something like, whatever you are in your zodiac, each zodiac is 2160 years we stay inside of this age. So we're in the age of Aquarius. So multiply that by 12. We're going around this star Sirius that she opened up. Every around 26,000 years, the Earth is spinning around this star. This particular zodiac is the oldest zodiac on the planet. And like I
Yes.
said, I do believe, like this and plenty Plato and the Egyptians, they all talk about this story
Yes.
in this particular timeline.
Socrates.
But if you
Yes.
go around this star Sirius, then you start getting to the Aries, right? Aries is first, Taurus, and you just go around the zodiac, and it's so beautiful. And then around it is the deacons, which in current times we use as the degrees. So it's very powerful and an ancient symbol of the divine feminine. This first zodiac. So when you think about your sign, that came from the goddess. It's right there, and it's a beautiful
Yeah.
story. Go ahead. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I just kind
No,
of.
no, I'm glad you did. You explained it much better than I could have. You could go on to the next slide. Okay, so now these are the crystals that were used back in their days. Turquoise um, um, was really one of the most important. Oh, let me see. And it symbolizes the protection and joy. And it was mined in the Sinai Peninsula, and they used it in jewelry dedicated to Hathor. And then our lapis lazuli, it represents wisdom and the heavens. And this deep blue stone was imported from Afghanistan and used in amulets and ornaments. And then, of course, we have the beautiful emerald, and it's associated with fertility and rebirth. And it was mined in Egypt's eastern desert, and it was cherished by figures like Cleopatra. Okay. Now, of course, I had to include the pottery because I collected a few pieces. And so the pottery was really integral to the daily life and religious practices. So this blue painted one at the top, it has these floral muffets, and they're images. They're supposed to be images of Hathor, and this was popular during the New Kingdom. Now, while we were there, if you look on that red cloth, those are the pieces that I was able to. Oh no, go back, please. Yeah, those are the pieces that I was able to collect out there, and they weren't blue; they were green. Although I did pick up some specks of blue from Hatshepsut's temple, so that'll be shown later. Anyway, but I was really excited to see the color and how they used and how they made their colors. This one, like I said, is green, but really was popular was blue. Okay, we could go to the next one.
And we're running up on time. And I know I took some of your time, so let's.
It, no, okay,
I'm
I'll
sorry.
hurry. Okay, well, we said the most important things, and that's what we need to really do is to get back to balancing our feminine energy with the masculine so that we can have a balanced um a world. And here are some of these pieces. I don't know if you can see that little bead. That thing is really small, but I found this little bead there at Hatshepsut's temple. Okay, we can move on. So these are the wonderful attributes of Hathor. She was the patron of arts for women, and so that included the music, the cosmetics, our sensuality, and everything that's beautiful about a woman. And it seems to me that every religion that I read about, all of it is really kind of based on the cycle of a woman, and I guess that's because that's kind of where we come from, a woman. Anyway, so she was also very politically inclined and part of the royalty divine because they called her the mother of the pharaohs. Go on. And these are, again, we are talking about how she embodies all of the beauty in life. And let's see. Oh, now I don't know if anybody knows anything about Ra and Horus, but they call her the Eye of Ra because She is the antithesis of Ra. Ra is the masculine energy and she's the feminine energy. And because we weren't really taught that, I know that women come by that, or we as people come by that naturally, but this is really a lesson that we could have really learned. And in the Bible, they kind of say that Hathor is like the Mary Magdalene in the Bible. So I guess, but no one ever expressed this love and the beauty and the sensual sexuality, uh, and the dancing and the music. And I mean, that's all just part of it. So we already talked about how more military and the centralization of male power and religious reform and misogyny and the fear of female power is how over the centuries the worship of this divine feminine energy had declined. So the way forward, let's go back to the way forward. So we need to restore feminine energy. And it doesn't mean that we're rejecting masculine. It just means that we're rebalancing the two. So the integration looks like honoring our emotions and intuitions as valid forms of wisdom for men and women. We have to create space for rest, softness, and the flow in hyper productive culture. And we have to respect the earth as a living being. And people don't realize how important that is, but it's so important because the Bible even says that God gave dominion over the earth to men, to people. And dominion means that you must take care of it. It doesn't mean that you get to beat it up and use it any kind of way you want. And no, we have to take care of it as though it is a living being because Gaia is living. And that we have to reclaim our sacred birth, sexuality, and creativity. And we are empowering women, and we have to empower women, femmes, and anybody that is embodying feminine characteristics. They have to be accepted and loved. And we have to return to cyclical living and community-based support systems. And I think that's really all we really need to talk about. Let's go on. Let's see what else is next. Yeah.
And then we add the Billy thing. So
yeah, couldn't go ahead.
I'll see if I can attach that maybe to the invite or something like that, then get everybody what Billy said about it. But it was deep. So, and this is driving me crazy. I don't know where this came from, man.
Okay.
So Katie is part of Lineage Brand. You can go to her, go to Lineage Brand, or go directly to Katie's Crystals if you're looking for some gemstones. She's definitely willing to get you some information and some, whatever you need to get whatever kind of stones you want. We're gonna have the goddess Anahata back up. Katie.
Oh, let me just say this real quick. All of the gems that were sacred in ancient Egypt, I do have them. So I have them in earrings. I have them in like the turquoise and gold earrings, bracelets. So just go on there, and I have a lot of new stuff that's not on there. But if you get in touch with me, I can go ahead and show you the pictures of all the new good stuff I got. Anyway, thank you again for your attention, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I'm asking all the men what their experience was when they were entering the temple of Hathor, of the divine feminine energy. So what was your experience?
Well, one of the things that's really important that I see in the ancient past is the fact that they had balance. They understood you had to have masculine and feminine energy to balance the powers of the universe. In our current era, we typically don't have that. We've literally forgotten it. We've oppressed and suppressed the feminine energy, and hence look at the state of the world. This planet is being run like a gigantic bachelor pad. That's all the wars, you see all of the craziness going on. The majority of the crimes and the evil deeds are being performed by men. They don't have any balance. And so the fact that this is a temple that brings that feminine energy and brings that balance back when you go in there, you can just tell by looking at the style, the motif, direction of the artistry and artisans that put this place together, that there was a feminine injection of energy into this building and structure, and that it really resonates throughout the entire place. And, you know, when you go out of here and you go into certain areas where there's really heavy oppression of women, those little areas look like giant bachelor pads. So everything is a fractal. You know, when you inject feminine energy and you release that suppression, then you start to see plants and flowers and colors. When you suppress it, everything turns one color, gray, dark, brown, dim, and dusty. So without the balance, even men, we go too far to the opposite side. So we have to have that balance. So places like this are important to visit to understand that even in the ancient times, they had that energy, they had the balance, they knew how to wield the powers of the universe. And if we can learn anything from this and bring it into our current era, we might be able to create a brand new world.
Oh, wow.
That was
Anahata.
wonderful. I am here. I am present. That was wonderful. And I heard something key, which allowed me to switch up my set. Speaking about Star Sirius, I have a piece that includes that. So I'm going to read that one. This one is called Sentient. And this is from my second book, my newest release called Love's Promise, also available everywhere. Hard copy. This one, this is one of those. Okay. And I'm a siren, but not the lustful temptation of dangerous manipulation drilling 808s through your ear. Oh no. I'm a special siren who orates linguistic lullabies, a lasting luminous love. I picked up the cadence of your radiance, seen it as soon as our paths crossed paths. The volcano in you just stirring up and waiting to create the most spectacular catastrophe, bountiful island formation, sight beholding. No farther can you wander without me. I've mastered the art of sentient seduction, revealing wonderland, a place in me for you to incubate imaginations and ponder peacefully. In omnipotent opulence of cosmic consciousness, I've charmed you into setting your soul free of love's boundaries, how tranquil love should always feel. And you've earned it, beyond worthy. Your Nefertiti has conquered and seized while she too submits to your godly being, patient love that basks in your protection. Under my spell, I have you suspended mid-air, poking and prodding at parts needing healing, using my love as a defibrillator, jolting dispersed energy into concentrated electricity. Do you trust me to open you up right there? The Most High sent me to unlock you. Embracing this transcendence Allah made, I found Egyptian hieroglyphs etched in my note. I'm in love with you is what I wrote. I'll spell it in a star, starting with Star Sirius. A love blessed by the ancestors. Hearing this, I love that I'm in love with you. Ashe.